Hey folks, how's everybody doing today? Happy New Year. Glad you're all here. Glad you all showed up. Um, Today's stream, pretty much going to cover the stuff that I've wanted to talk about for a little bit. Goals and achievements. What you should be able to glean from a mentor. Somebody that's going to, if you're on, please let me know how I sound. I'd appreciate it. What you should get out of a mentor in a mentor-mentee relationship. Always have a goal. What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself in a few days, a few months, a few years? Always looking forward, never looking backwards. These are important things. And like I said, that's kind of the thing you want to know. So, with that being said, let's cruise on. The picture you see, that was me bodyguarding Steve Martin in the first Gulf War, 1990 and 1991. And I was a military policeman then, in the Marine Corps, 5811. So, getting back to what I was talking about. When I first started this game was back in the 80s. 3 years Army, then 4 years in the Marine Corps after that. Went into the Marine Corps in 88. So you can do the math. And where did I want to go? I knew exactly where I wanted to go. Knew exactly what I wanted to do. Knew exactly what I wanted to see. You know, everybody has an idea, has a thought of what they want to do. And the only limitation anybody has is themselves. The reason why I thought this was an important subject, a lot of NEETs, you know, not going through education, or also employed or doing any training. Those guys, millennials, and I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm talking to millennials. I have a millennial son. I did not have a father, but my son was raised by me, and I've been married for the whole time. That was not my experience. So I was starting off on my back foot that way. But what I did have were mentors, men that actually not only taught me how to do the game, how to learn things. I've interviewed one of my mentors on this channel, Colonel X. I give him much cred. Had other mentors, and maybe one day I'll have them on. But the point being is, those men not only taught me my military stuff, but also by example taught me how to be a man, how to do man things. There's an old saying we had, everybody wants to be a hero until it's time to do hero shit. And that's factual. There's a lot of people that can blow smoke, talk trash, but very few that can fucking carry my war belt. And that's a fact. But also, better men than I. When I say talking trash, I'm talking these dudes that, you know, they've made it to level 8 million on Modern Warfare. You know, that's their extent of that. And the same with, you know, the agencies I worked for. And trust me, I had good mentors in them. People I really respected from all different areas. Now, there are things that can come later in life. Look, you have to remember, in the mid-'80s, when I first started my military service, we had the bugaboo of the Soviet Union. Not Russians, the Soviets. Communist, okay? There is a delineation, especially now. Ryan Llewellyn, I've had him on my show twice now, and it's been great both times. He understands, as well as I think most in my audience do, that the Russians of today are not the Soviets of yesteryear. Just like the Warsaw Pact is no longer in existence, or East Germany. They're both gone. All that stuff's gone. But the framework's not. That's the rub. And this is why it's important to talk about this. What I see right now is a resurgence of communism. It was a dual sword that struck when we did not have a bugaboo of the old Soviet Union. And what it was the communists within our midst went underground. They slunk into academia. They hid in administration. They hid in the federal government. Look, and state governments and city, local and city, even some counties in different parts of this country. This is a fact. You can see it every day. And you even have some in the military. And the IC, the intelligence community, is riddled with it. Especially the CIA and State Department. So, with that being said, now my mentors gave me everything to go against communism. That's my specialty. And I look to see. This is where this all ties in, folks. You look at what's happening in Europa right now. The yellow vest. A lot of people talk trash and say, especially the media, by the way, the media has been disingenuous about the entire yellow vest movement since its inception. It was not just about taxes. It was about replacement. Replacing Europeans with people from the third world and second world of Africa and the Near East. That's a fact. You had well, here's just what it is. That's what they're covering up. The yellow vest is about the people are sick of it. Nationalism is rising. Merkel made a statement where she went hard against nationalists. She did this yesterday. Oh, by the way, Happy New Year for those that just joined. 2019 is going to be a lot better than 2018, but it's going to be eventful. What's the old Chinese proverb? May you live in interesting times. They're going to get very interesting this year, I guarantee. So with that being said, here's my thought process. You see there was an entire special forces team in Germany that was arrested because they were actually going to do something to take out Merkel. That's a fact. This happened. And they tried to say they're Nazis. They weren't Nazis. They just saw what was happening. That's been debunked. They saw what was happening and what she was doing. And remember, I've made a series of videos on this. On the Stasi. Not only was she FDJ, she was also a Stasi girl. And people forget that she does have a doctorate in physics. She's not an idiot from East Germany, okay? She has her allegiances. Look at what Google's done. They've taken over their their European office is going to be headed in East Berlin in the old Stasi building. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. Look at what Google and Apple are doing over in China. All this stuff, it's about nodes and drawing lines to them and connecting them and seeing how they are coming in to converse and to play out in this day. And it's coming to a nexus that everybody needs to look at. You need to see it and you need to know. These are facts. These are real. This is your life now. Now you've seen everything they've tried to do with Trump. They have pulled out everything, including the kitchen sink. So with all this being said, if you're a young millennial and you don't have a father, the best thing I can say is whatever occupation you choose, listen to somebody that's older, and you have to be careful on, remember, a mentee and a mentor's relationship is able to be severed by either. Okay, when the mentor thinks he's given everything he can to this mentee, he will encourage him to find somebody else. And the mentee needs to realize if the mentor's going in weird directions, or if the mentor's not giving you what you need to grow as a human being, as a man. See, I can only speak women. If you're on this or listen to my podcast, I'm not slighting you. I don't know your experience. I can't tell you how to be a woman. And I can only tell one mentee at a time. You know, you have to take that time with that person to explain things. And I can only do that for a man. That's why a mentor-mentee relationship, male-female, never works. It's just a dynamic that it should not exist. Sometimes people try to do that, especially in the new, gender-neutral federal government and police, fire, and military agencies and other agencies. But it's wrong-headed. It doesn't work. So with that being said, I encourage young men and young women, but remember, I'm saying go find a woman, to find a mentor, to, if you're a young person, to listen to what they do, become the best at what you do. Once you become the best, you can leave that job. You're going to have work. You can make your own work. You can do what you want to do. This life, you're only going to get one pass. And with that, you need to make the best of it. Sometimes working for yourself is the best. Sometimes, I know I've enjoyed it. I've also enjoyed the time as a contractor with other men that, I've worked around. It's all about the jokes, the male bonding, jocking up, getting ready to go do whatever. Even if it's just static security, whatever. Everybody doesn't have to do high-speed shit all the time. That's just a fact. And getting older, I'd probably hold them back more now than I did in my 30s. Because I am 50 now. I'll be 51 this year. But the thing about it is, I know I'm hopscotching through this conversation, but it all leads to a point. And that point is, none of my mentors saw, or I saw, what was coming when the wall fell. What I mean by that is when the German wall fell, that separated East and West Germany. Honecker, and at that time, I think it was Helmut Kohl was the prime minister, I believe, of Germany. I could be wrong. It might have been somebody else. I just know Kohl was there when I was there, so it could have been somebody else. But when that fell, and Mielke and Honecker got their comeuppance the way they were supposed to, thank God, nobody saw that communism would have a resurgence. And it's come back with even more of a vicious tint. 2018, good riddance to it. But 2019, here's the rub, and this is what did not get captured on my last stream. The first half was not caught at all. And the reason for that is that what ended up happening was, I don't know what. It's not really a technical issue, but I think I touched on things. January and February, Antifa and other little communist groups, they got plans. They got lists, and they're looking to go after folks. Doesn't mean that you're on a list or anything, but what it does mean is you need to be careful, because you could accidentally fall into one of their little, show up somewhere and mob violence stuff. So basically, what I was saying is have a kit, something in your car for you to, if you have to, you can walk out. Think of it as a 72-hour kit that you keep in your car in a backpack. If you have a concealed carry permit, follow the laws, state, local, and federal. And if you have to, carry. If you don't feel safe doing that, don't do it. It's up to you. I'm not here to tell you. I'd say it's prudent, but I'm not saying be paranoid and obsess about it either. I'm just saying be mindful. Have situational awareness of everywhere you're going. Listen to AM radio when you're driving somewhere that gives you news and traffic. That's the first place you're going to hear about something like that, if there's people stopping cars and whatnot. This is just something, it's prudent. I don't know why that got cut out somehow. Maybe I said some, maybe I dropped an F-bomb one too many or something. But there's this big fake bugaboo about the right. Everybody's a Nazi. Everybody's a fascist. This is being put out by everybody. Just, it's gotten to the point to where if they called me either of them, I'd just laugh at them because it doesn't bother me. Now, with goals and achievements, I think my podcast has gotten better as I've went on. I've enjoyed helping WPRPN, World Pirate Radio Podcast Network, and I will continue to do that. Jaffe and I and Ryan Llewellyn have called a lot of stuff months before it happened. So we have a pretty consistent record there. Even the Korean thing, that was months out that we called that. Probably 6 months out, if I remember right, on my channel and his channel. So listen to World Pirate Radio Podcast Network, their news segment. That's the one I'll usually be on. So my goals were to try to make this a better channel, one that's more listenable. And trust me, I've had my problems with that just because of gear, but I will be fixing some of the gear issues. What I can handle, what I can do. The other thing that I will say is that's been my achievement, is I think it has gotten better. My goals for this year. Now I had Robert Weisthor, that was golden on. Really enjoyed that conversation. It looks by the numbers that a lot of you guys did too. That makes me happy. I like having a small page, small channel on YouTube, just because that way I have the freedom to interview interesting people that maybe a lot of people don't know about. It doesn't mean that I or you guys have to agree with everything they say, but the only way to get to the truth is to have people on. I've had Georgios, an old friend from high school, on. He's on Veterans Radio Syndicate, VRS, and they have they're on the live stream. I think they do on Facebook. I don't know if they have a YouTube channel. I could be wrong, so look for it. But this year I've got a couple people that I'm gonna be interviewing. Hope to get them on here soon. I think you guys will enjoy it. Michael Deacon, he's already committed. Adam Kokesh, I've talked to his guy, and I've met Adam when he's running for president. And I met him right here in my hometown. So I'll have him on eventually soon. We're just working on scheduling. And I've got a few other people that I'm just not going to tell you who they are, but I'm looking forward to having them on. I hope to have Biff and Alan on. That was an epic three-way conversation when I had them on. That got a lot of hits because just what I give you is a normal conversation I have with people. You know, I try to get, if I'm having somebody on that has deeper thoughts and deeper meanings, then I'll let them run. You know, my job is just to ask a question that maybe you would want to ask. And so hopefully I'll achieve that goal. And I do love when you guys chat and let me know what you're thinking when I have somebody on. I read it off. I also appreciate honest feedback. You know, having been a troll and done troll raids, I understand what they are. So if I see trolling, I'll leave you up. I don't care. I'm not going to block you. That's ridiculous. But because I'm laughing at it. But I'm not going to read your shit on, you know, my show. You know, if it's an honest question, I'll be there for you. And I'll ask it. And I've done that with every guest I've had. And I've taken questions you guys have had for me. Well, with that being said, I really have enjoyed the chance that you folks have given me to be on my channel, to listen to me, and my guest especially. I know everybody doesn't want to hear me. That's just the truth. But I do appreciate that you've given me that time, and you've accepted my mad boomer skills as a Gen Xer, and somehow you've gotten something of value out of it. But the more important part is that we've traveled this road together now for a while. I didn't even think I would keep doing it, but I'm actually enjoying it. And I enjoy, you know, being able to talk to y'all. And I thank you all for taking a seat on my big orange couch. And definitely look forward to this next year, this year we're in now, 2019. It's going to be an interesting year. Thank you for taking the seat on my big orange couch. Hopefully you had a nice cup of coffee, a tea, or an adult libation, or you're coming back from a New Year's party and you're in good health and good spirits and didn't get arrested driving drunk. Don't drive drunk ever. It's just not worth it. With that being said, the first song that I entered with, and this one, Inside Enemy Headquarters, is from a friend of mine, Axion Ghost, and I have permission from him. He produces and makes all of his music, and I will be using him for the rest of my show because he is got the best stuff. And just look on Axion's Ghost on YouTube and you'll be able to listen to all of his music, and I think you'll enjoy it. With that being said, have a good morning. God bless, be well, be safe. Shuff out.